record it to my computer. All right, so the session is recording. Right, so again, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. We are going to have a Q&A workshop today, like I mentioned before. Thank you everyone for being here. We'll have a few things to do. I'll have just to go over a few things first before we have the Q&A.
Donc, merci à tous d'être présents pour ce Question and Answer Workshop. Donc, on va discuter de quelque chose avant de commencer le workshop.
All right, so just to get us situated on where we are, we have had two other workshops on Introduction to Robotics in the end of April, and about 3 weeks ago we did one on computer vision. All of the resources from those two workshops are on the website, and the videos are on YouTube.
Donc, juste pour avoir une vue de ce que nous avons fait précédemment, nous avons eu deux précédents workshops sur introduction à la robotique et computer vision. Donc, nous avons les enregistrements de tous ces workshops sur notre site et sur YouTube.
All right, and then so today we will do the Q&A workshop, and the purpose here is to help to resolve any challenges that people may be facing, technical challenges or questions, or tips that they might need, or things like that, and we can provide that during this session.
Donc, pour le workshop d'aujourd'hui, c'est principalement sur les questions et réponses. Donc, ça a pour but de résoudre tous les problèmes que chaque team pourrait rencontrer sur le plan technique. Et ouais, on pourra vous donner des réponses durant cette session.
Right, and currently, on our schedule, phase 1 will end in a little less than 2 weeks. So that is June 12th. I know I've gotten at least one request to extend that date, and that's possible. We can extend the date, and maybe we will. But currently, it's going to be within that time frame. Within the next 2 weeks will be the end of phase 1, when teams will need to wrap up their solutions for phase 1 and sending the submission.
Donc, comme vous pouvez le voir, la session de la phase 1 prendra fin normalement le 12 juin. Mais selon l'avis de plusieurs personnes, il serait bien possible qu'on puisse repousser la date. Mais principalement, c'est entre ces deux semaines c'est-à-dire de 1er juin à 12 juin, que vous devez essayer un peu de créer vos solutions et envoyer des submissions.
All right, so before we continue, I want us to complete a status poll. All right, so at least we can know how people are doing in this group. So you're going to get a Zoom pop-up with asking you to fill out a poll. So please, if you can go ahead and it's just 3 questions, multiple choice. Just asking some brief questions about your status of the competition, the task. So please go ahead and fill that out.
Donc, pour commencer, vous allez devoir répondre au sondage qui vient juste de s'afficher sur votre écran. Et c'est juste 3 questions, donc vous avez assez de temps pour pouvoir les répondre maintenant. Merci.
Yeah, are people getting the request to fill the poll? Just want to confirm. Andrea, did you get it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I received it.
All right. So please, if you got it, I think everyone should have gotten the poll from Zoom. If you can quickly just, shouldn't take you more than 2-3 minutes to to fill it out. I can see some people have started filling. Thank you.
Est-ce que vous avez tous reçu le sondage sur votre écran? Sinon, veuillez s'il vous plaît l'écrire dans le chat.
Yeah, if you're hearing some cry in the background, that is my son. Sorry for the background noise. Hopefully Zoom is blurring that noise out. All right, so we have about 4. Maybe we just wait for a few more people to fill out the form. Okay, so thank you for filling out the form. I'm getting some good responses. The purpose of this poll is to quickly give us some idea of where people are, so that we know how to target the support that that you need. All right. So please feel free to give an honest response in the form.
Donc, pour le moment, nous n'avons que 4 réponses, mais veuillez, s'il vous plaît, remplir le sondage et soyez vraiment honnête dans vos réponses pour qu'on puisse vous donner aussi des réponses adaptées à vos besoins.
Very good, very good. I think we have 5 now. If we let's see, maybe we need maybe 1 or 2 more. Okay, so I'll wait maybe 1 more minute. Please, if there's anything on the form that is unclear, also please feel free to ask. I can provide some more clarification. There should be there are just 3 questions there, so should be easy to see. All right, thank you. I think we have okay, so maybe we have most of what we will be able to get from our group. Let me...
Merci à vous d'avoir rempli le sondage.
Okay, so let me end the poll. I'll end the poll and then I'll share. I want to share the results. So I think I'm sharing the results with everybody now. Okay, so we had 6 people who responded on the call here. Thank you very much. We had 4 people for question 1. 4 people have completed setting up their computers for the competition, which is great. We had 2 people who are still working on it or having some challenge. So I would like to see how I can provide support to those people here. Andrea, you can go ahead, yeah.
Donc, nous avons eu 6 personnes qui ont répondu au sondage de Zoom. Donc, pour les 4 personnes qui ont réussi à set up leur ordinateur et les 2 autres personnes qui sont toujours en train de travailler sur le challenge, on va essayer de vous donner des réponses claires à vos interrogations.
Okay. And so if you're just coming, I know I just admitted some people. If you're just coming, you're welcome. We just went through a competition status survey, a brief one, so I could get an idea of where people are. So I'm just going over the result that we got. Okay.
Donc, pour ceux qui ne comprennent pas ce qui se passe, donc qui viennent juste de rentrer dans le meeting, on a fait un sondage et on ne fait que discuter en quelque sorte sur les réponses du sondage.
All right, so for status of task 1, it looks like more people are making progress but need some support. And people are started but have not made much progress, and one person has not started yet. So nobody has completed task 1. Okay, so people needing support. Maybe we can provide some ideas in this session today, or if people have questions of different approach they want to use, I can provide some support.
Donc, il semblerait que beaucoup de personnes n'aient pas fait de grands progrès sur la tâche numéro 1. Donc, sentez-vous free de donner vos avis et vos questions pour qu'on puisse vous aider sur ça.
All right, lastly, for task 2, let me see. Task 2, we have most people are making some progress, but need support. One person is making good progress, should be done soon. That's great. But also one person not started, one person started but haven't made much progress. Okay, so thank you. Thank you very much for helping us with this information. It allows us to know how to support you better.
Donc, pour la tâche numéro 2, nous avons des gens qui ont fait des progrès, d'autres qui ne l'ont pas fait, et d'autres qui sont toujours en train de démarrer sur la tâche numéro 2. Donc, nous espérons qu'on pourra vous donner des informations pour vous aider à avancer sur la tâche numéro 2.
All right, so I'm going to stop sharing the poll now, and then we will move on to I'll just share a few more information briefly, and then we'll move on to questions. So please, what I would like to really ask from us, if there are any challenges you are facing with setting up your computer, for example, please feel free to put a message in the chat so that we can help you as soon as possible, right? If you're having any challenges, if you've started task 1 or 2, and you haven't made much progress because you're having some challenges, please, let us, put a message in the chat. Once we get to the Q&A session, or you want to unmute yourself to ask a question, please do so. All right, because although if you don't ask, there's no way we can know, So we really want you to engage with this. We want you to learn. We want you to develop new skills. We want you to advance. But we can only support you if you, let us know how. Okay.
Donc, nous allons partager encore quelques informations rapidement avant de passer aux questions. Donc, si vous avez des questions ordinateur, par exemple, sentez-vous libre de l'écrire dans le chat ou d'activer votre micro. Et si vous avez aussi des problèmes sur la tâche numéro 2 comme la tâche numéro 1, donc veuillez aussi écrire dans le chat en attendant qu'on arrive à cette partie.
All right, so these are the 2 tasks. The autonomous field navigation, task 1, and task 2 is crop yield estimation. All right, so we will go through, and if people have questions for the different tasks, we will be able to provide some ideas or tips or, different things. All right.
Donc là, nous avons en quelque sorte la vue générale des tâches de la compétition. Donc la tâche numéro 1 qui est la navigation autonome et la tâche numéro 2 qui est la détection des
Now, I also want to just remind us, because so that everyone is aware of this resources. Okay, so we have here, if you come to the website, this is in the English version of the website. We can switch to French version. Okay. We have all the recordings and the slides for all the events. And also we have the GitHub repository with all the code that we use for the different sessions. Okay, so these are very helpful information if you need it. So please make sure that you take advantage of it.
Alors, juste pour être sûr que tout le monde a accès aux mêmes ressources, donc vous pouvez aller sur le website, c'est sur le site de la compétition, et vous aurez accès normalement à la partie ressources et supports. Sur votre gauche, en bas, vous verrez Virtual Meeting Recording. Et dans cette partie, normalement, vous pourrez avoir accès à tous les enregistrements de toutes les sessions, tous les meetings que nous avons eu à faire. Ensuite, vers le bas, vous pourrez normalement voir la librairie GitHub. Donc, si vous avez aussi des difficultés à comprendre l'anglais, sur votre droite, en haut à droite, vous verrez cette petite lettre A là qui vous permet normalement de changer la langue entre français et anglais.
All right. So for instance, you can, this is the code that we use for the introduction to robotics workshop. Okay. Oh.
Par exemple, le premier lien GitHub qu'il y a sur le site, c'est le premier code que nous avons fait par rapport à la tâche numéro 1.
And this one is for the computer vision workshop that we did a few weeks ago.
Et le second lien, c'est par rapport à la vision ordinateur que nous avons fait il y a 2 semaines.
Okay, so please take advantage of these resources. They will really help you to move faster. And so there's an example code, things you can use easily so that you are making progress faster.
Donc, prenez votre temps vraiment de partir, de checker ces sites-là pour vous permettre de faire des avancements un peu plus rapides sur la compétition.
All right, so that's some of the high level things I want to share. Right now, it's open for questions, and I can provide answers to your questions. Please feel free to ask any question that's related to anything, okay, that's related to the competition. It could be technical question regarding setting up your computer or task 1 or task 2. It could be logistical questions about phase 1 or phase 2 of the competition. It could be anything, right? So the rest of the time that we have now is for me to be a resource for you, to provide you any information that can be helpful to you. And you can use, sorry, Andrea, you can use the chat, or you can also raise your hand on Zoom. I can call on you. You can unmute and ask a question.
Donc, maintenant, nous rentrons dans la phase des questions. Donc, si vous avez des questions par rapport à la tâche numéro 1 comme à la tâche numéro 2, ou principalement sur comment configurer votre ordinateur, sentez-vous libre d'ouvrir votre micro, de lever votre main ou d'écrire dans le chat. Et on pourra bien évidemment répondre à vos questions aujourd'hui. Merci.
All right, so please, let's go ahead and have people share any questions they have. I know at least there was one person or two people who had issue with setting up their PC. Okay, if you mentioned still trying to set up your PC, please can you say more? Let us know what challenge are you facing? How can we help us understand where you are facing challenge so we can give some direction or advice or recommendation. All right. If it is phase task 1, some people said they need more support on task 2. Please, this is a good time to, is there anything on your mind? Okay, there's no bad question. Any question that is helpful for you is good for us, okay? So please don't feel shy to ask. You think maybe this is not a good question. Any question is a good question, as long as it helps you.
Donc, selon le sondage, il y a 2 personnes qui avaient des problèmes sur la configuration de leur ordinateur. Donc, s'il vous plaît, essayez d'ouvrir votre micro, envoyez un message dans le chat ou levez votre main pour qu'on puisse savoir quel est spécifiquement votre problème, quelles sont les difficultés que vous avez, comment est-ce qu'on peut vous aider. Et ça pourra aider d'autres personnes, bien évidemment, qui vont regarder les enregistrements à avancer aussi sur ce point-là. Aussi, si vous avez des questions sur la tâche numéro 2, nous pouvons aussi répondre à vos questions maintenant. Il n'y a pas de mauvaises questions, donc ça serait vraiment... ne soyez pas timide de poser vos questions et on pourra vraiment répondre à vos questions aujourd'hui. Merci.
All right, there's a question in the chat. Just
Oui,
hold on, let
il
me
y a une
answer this
question.
question in the chat. Okay, and then I can come back to you. All right, there's a question in the chat. It's Holberton. What's the name? I think that's the name of, is that his name of his school, or what's the name of the team from Lesotho? What's your name?
Donc, nous avons une question dans le chat par rapport à la tâche numéro 1.
Ah, okay, okay. Thato. Hopefully I pronounce your name right. Thank you for the question. All right. For task 1, are there any limits of topics to use? All right, so Andrea, what we'll do, I will repeat the question. You can translate it, then I will give a response, then you can translate that.
OK.
All right, so the question is, for task 1, are there any limits of topics to use?
Donc, la question 1, c'est de savoir quel est le type de topic à utiliser pour la tâche numéro 1.
Tato, I'm not sure I fully understand how you mean topics to use. You can subscribe to any, let me come here. You can subscribe to any topics that you care about that might be useful, except only one. Not one, but except only this types of topics. I think I have it here in the documentation. Let's see. Let me find it. Oh, it's not here. Oh, yes. Yeah, so the only topics that we don't want you to subscribe to are the topics from like Gazebo. There's some Gazebo like model state and things like that that you can subscribe to that give you some ground truth information. So we say don't subscribe to those topics. But any other topic that you want to use, you are free to use.
Donc, par rapport à la question de Tato, vous pouvez utiliser tous les topics que vous voulez, Mais si vous regardez dans le site, normalement, vous verrez des avertissements, des petits carrés jaunes. Enfin, vous ne devez pas utiliser gazebo comme topic. Vous pouvez utiliser tout autre type de topic, mais pas celui de gazebo. Donc, faites attention aux petits warnings qu'il y a sur le site.
So hopefully that answers your question. If there's any particular topic you're not sure whether you can use or not, please ask so I can clarify for you. Okay. Is there any particular topic that you are thinking that you want to use? Okay, so you can put that in the chat, and then we can I can help to provide more support for that. Okay, so you can put it in the chat, or if not, if you're okay with the response, then that's good also. All right, but let us know if there's any specific topics that you are wondering about.
Donc, dans le cas où tu ne serais pas sûr du type de topic à utiliser, donc tu peux toujours proposer ton topic dans le chat pour qu'on puisse te donner des directives par rapport à ton topic.
All right, Ingamia, please, thank you. Go ahead. I can see your hand is raised.
Yeah. Bonsoir, vous me recevez?
Go ahead.
Isaac,
Ok, alors j'allais dire ceci. Il y a plusieurs frames qui par défaut apparaissent quand on essaie de visualiser les frames avec le TF Tools. Alors, les frames commencent à partir de ODOM, Base Footprint et ainsi de suite. Alors, j'aimerais savoir parce que pour le task 1, si par exemple on doit utiliser la navigation, il se fait que on est buté seulement au niveau, donc le premier frame, c'est le map. Est-ce qu'il est nécessaire d'avoir un autre frame en dehors du map, comme par exemple le world?
Gamia, est-ce que tu pourrais répéter ta question?
Je dis ceci. Pour la première tâche,
Okay, step by step. You said for the first task, continue.
si nous sommes censés utiliser la navigation,
If we're supposed to use the navigation,
il s'est fait qu'il y a plusieurs frames ou plusieurs transformations qui doivent être établies.
it seems like there are multiple frames for multiple transformation.
Comme pour le cas de figure,
For example,
on peut avoir une transformation où on va de ODOM
we can have a transformation where we go from Odom
jusqu'à Base Footprint.
till base footprint.
Mais lorsqu'on lance le stack de navigation, la configuration change.
But when we launch the configuration, it changes.
On doit en principe aller peut-être de map vers ODOM et vers d'autres transformations.
We have to go from map to Odom and to other transformation.
Mais avec les tests qu'on a eu à faire de notre côté,
So with the test we have done so far,
l'environnement n'a pas réagi comme on pouvait s'y attendre.
the environment didn't react the way we wanted.
Alors, ma question est celle-ci.
So the question is,
est-ce qu'il est nécessaire d'avoir une autre transformation en dehors du map? Par exemple, on a une transformation World vers le map.
is it necessary to have another transformation instead of the map?
Et si tel est le cas,
And if it's the case,
quelle est la variable qui peut qui fait allusion à cette autre transformation qui peut être le World?
so which variable is required for the transformation of
Ouais, je pense que c'est tout.
He said that's it.
Okay. All right, that's a good question. I understand some part. Maybe I will ask for some more clarification. So my first clarifying question is, are you trying to build a map of the farm and use that for your navigation?
Donc, la première question, c'est qu'il est pas vraiment sûr de la
Ouais, effectivement, c'est ça que je suis en train de vouloir faire.
Il demande si tu voudrais, si ton objectif c'est de faire une carte de tout l'environnement.
Ouais, exactement, c'est ça que je suis en train de vouloir faire.
Can you say yes? That's what
Wait, and I cannot hear you. What did you say?
he said yes. You would like to build a map.
Could you repeat that? Your line is not clear.
He said yes. He would like to build a map.
Okay. All right. So you like to build a map. Okay, and so your map is in the map you have a map frame, right? So that is that is a frame that you'll be representing in the map. That's the root
Yes.
frame would be the map frame. And then what's your question about that? Could you
Yeah.
And then you have the odometry, yes. We have the odometry frame,
Yes, of
the
course.
robot. And then we also have the base frame of the robot is, I think in this case, the base link. This is the base link
Yeah.
of the base footprint. That is the base frame on the robot, right?
Yes. So my question is, are we supposed to have like another transform?
Donc, la question, c'est de savoir si nous sommes censés avoir une autre transformation.
It looks like I can't hear you. Are you speaking?
Ngamia, est-ce qu'il y a un problème avec ton
Yeah.
micro?
Là, vous m'entendez?
Oui, là, ça marche maintenant.
Ah, ok. Alors, je disais, je peux alors essayer d'y aller en anglais, comme ça, peut-être que les infos peuvent passer un peu plus fluidement. Yeah, I was saying that uh, at the moment, without the navigation tag, I have some transform like Odom, base footprint, and the other one. But when it comes for the navigation tag, there is an additional transform, which is map. But the problem is when I try to launch that map tag, it seems like when my robot moves and when he tries to like to spin around, the frame of the environment is moving at the same speed with the robot and in the same direction.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find something. Just give me one moment. Let me see if I can pull up something that might help us with the discussion.
Donc, pour traduire la question de Ngamia, si je ne me trompe pas, donc...
Okay, let me put this up here. Okay, can you see?
Yes.
All right, so there are two, let me see now, yeah. So typically when you are using some map-based map-based, let's say, navigation method, you will have a map frame that is separate from your ODOM frame and your base frame. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll wait under for you to translate.
Yeah, you can go on. I can get you.
Yeah, but I don't know if there are other people who need to.
Okay.
So can you repeat your answer, please?
All right.
Can you-
So, so I'll repeat it this way. Okay, so usually when you're using a map for your navigation, you will have a map frame. And that is the position on the map where you're getting your reference of the robot.
Okay.
Donc, lorsque tu utilises la carte pour la navigation, tu as une map frame. Donc, la position de la map, de la carte, en fonction de la position de la carte, tu vois la référence, tu as la référence du robot.
All right, and then so the other thing is that so this is the base frame. This frame is fixed on the robot. Okay, so this base frame is fixed on the robot, does not move with respect to the robot.
Et ensuite, tu as la base frame. Donc, normalement, elle est fixée sur le robot. Donc, elle ne bouge qu'en fonction du robot.
Now, if your robot has odometry, your robot will have this this odom frame. Our robot does have odometry, so it has this odometry frame, which is also there.
Donc, si le robot a une odométrie, normalement, vous aurez le odom frame. Donc, notre robot a odométrie, donc il a aussi un odom frame.
All right, this odometry frame is not fixed to the robot. It is fixed to the starting position of the robot. Okay, so where the robot starts from, that is where the odometry frame will sort of initialize. You can also change that possibly, but that will naturally be where it will be. It will initialize with the original, from the beginning pose of the robot.
Donc, l'odométrie, le odom frame n'est pas fixé au robot. Et
Okay, and all right. And then as you are moving your robot around and you have odometry on your wheels or any other way of getting odometry, you will be getting the translation and the orientation of the robot's base frame with respect to the odom frame. So the robot is moving around, you'll be seeing, okay, based on the odom frame, the robot has moved 6 meters to left or right, something like that, and has changed orientation.
Donc, l'initialisation de l'odométrie commence lorsque ton robot démarre et il peut être attaché aux roues ou à un autre endroit sur votre robot. Donc, en fonction de ça, tu recevras une translation, une interprétation de l'orientation de la base du robot en réponse à d'autres frames.
All right, and the
Donc,
other point, okay.
Lorsque le robot sera en mouvement, tu verras les autres frames. Et s'il y a des changements ou des limitations.
All right, so in some cases, this just your odometry is good enough for you to keep a sense of where you are. Odometry can be good enough sometimes. But the problem is that you have a drifting in your odometry. It means that there's some error in your odometry as you're moving. So that is why sometimes your odometry is not precise, it's not accurate. As you move a lot, the signal will drift.
Donc, si il peut arriver que l'odométrie ait des erreurs. Donc, si tu bouges un peu beaucoup, si le robot se déplace un peu énormément, il arrive que tu reçoives des difficultés sur la précision du robot.
All right, and so usually when you're using a map, you need to have another way to estimate the position of the robot on the map. All right, another way to estimate the position of the robot on the map. And that is called localization. All right, so that's what we have here. This is, map localization. To estimate, that is, what is this base frame in the map frame? So we're trying to estimate the position of the robot. That is the base frame on the map.
Donc, normalement, si tu utilises une carte, tu auras besoin de trouver un autre moyen d'estimer la position du robot sur la carte. Et si tu as, par exemple, donc tu vas devoir estimer où est la base frame sur la carte.
Okay, does this explanation help you? Maybe you can repeat, maybe if you still have a question, you can repeat.
Yes, I think that it will be useful. I will try to review my solution according to what you have just said.
Yes. One thing that I want to, maybe I need to understand more. Actually, what you can do for me is put in go on, if you have access to Discord right now, maybe send a message on maybe task 1 and just if put a comment there so I remember to follow up with you about this. So there are many things that you should be thinking about, and I don't want us to spend all the time on this, so we can follow up later. But you need to come up with a localization method, okay? There's many available online. This one is showing AMCL. That is a very common one. All right, AMCL stands for Adaptive Monte Carlo Localization. So it's a very common approach, and you don't need to implement it. It's already available. You can just download the ROS package and configure it for your robot, and it will try to work. You can need to tune some things, but it will work generally okay. All right.
Donc,
Yes.
essaie d'envoyer ta question dans le chat Discord pour qu'il puisse se rappeler en fait de répondre à ta question. Et il y a aussi plusieurs types de librairies AMCL disponibles en ligne, donc que tu pourras juste simplement télécharger.
Okay. All right. Great. So please put in the Discord so we can follow up, okay? I want to make sure that I help you with more resources so that you know the best way to tackle the problem with this approach you want to use.
Donc,
Okay.
n'oublie pas de poser ta question sur Discord pour que tout le monde ait accès aussi aux mêmes ressources pour pouvoir avancer sur les tâches.
All right, wonderful.
That's perfect.
All right, great. There are other questions in the chat. Let me move over there. So the question from Tefo. Question is on task 1. I want to clarify what hard coding means, because it is said that we shouldn't hard code for the robot to move autonomously. All right. Andrea, you can translate and then I will answer the question.
Donc, la première question de Tefo, c'est de savoir ce que veut dire hard coding et pourquoi est-ce que nous ne devons pas hard code pour un robot qui doit fonctionner automatiquement.
Yeah, I think that comment is coming from here. When I say do not provide a solution with hard-coded positions for the robot to move. All right, so Tefo, the reason that I would say, okay, you're asking what hard coding means. Okay, hard coding means that you will set, okay, I'll give you an example. Hard coding means that you will say, okay, when the robot is here, move straight for 2 seconds and then stop and then turn right until maybe 30 degrees and then move for another 2 seconds and then stop and then turn left for 30 degrees and then move for 5 seconds and then turn right. Okay, and then you write that as your code. All right, we don't want you to do that. Okay, now the reason we don't want you to do that is because when we are evaluating your code, we are going to, like I said here, we are going to modify the initial position of your robot, okay? We're going to randomize the position of your robot, all right? So because of that, if you make those kind of changes, or that kind of hard coding position, it will not work, right? For example, maybe in the final, in how we evaluate your work, we might say the robot should start here, in this place, if you can see my cursor. All right, this is for route 1. You know, there are also 3 routes. So maybe for this route, we say, okay, the robot should start here. All right, or somewhere there. So we want you to come up with a solution that is robust, okay, that does not depend on a, let's say, choreographed motion, that the robot doesn't need to think, doesn't need to use sensor. It just moves based on what you have predefined. That is actually called automation. That is not autonomy. That's the difference between automation and autonomy. Automation means that your system is able to follow a preset list of commands in a systematic way without really dealing with uncertainty and processing new information to come up with a new strategy. Autonomy is the case where you have to continuously process information about your environment to come up with a new solution. In this case, it is processing sensor information, all right, to come up with a new path to follow. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll do a summary so that Andrea can translate that. But that's the general idea. Okay. So the summary would just be that the hard coding means setting predefined motions for the robot to move that is not dependent on using its sensors to know where to move and where not to move. That is what we don't want you to do. And the reason for that is because that is not autonomy. We want you to develop a solution that is based on autonomy. The robot can process sensor information and then come up with a plan.
Donc, selon Kenny, je dirais que vous devez faire la différence entre un robot automatique et un robot autonome. C'est-à-dire que nous ne voulons pas que vous ayez à préprogrammer votre code de manière à ce que le robot ne puisse suivre que vos instructions. Il est censé utiliser tous les capteurs disponibles sur le robot pour pouvoir naviguer sur l'ensemble de l'environnement qui vous est normalement proposé. Donc, lorsqu'ils feront l'évaluation de votre code, ils vont positionner votre robot sur différentes routes. Donc, il ne faudra pas en fait que vous ayez déjà prédéfini les routes, sinon ça pourrait ne pas fonctionner comme prévu.
All right, great, thank you. Jocelyn, your hand is up. Is your question related to what I just said? Otherwise, I'll maybe just have you wait, because there are people who had asked questions earlier. But if it is related to what I just described, I want to answer it.
Hi, Kenny. Hi, everyone.
Okay.
So my question is not related to that. It's related to task 2.
Okay, so I'll just have you wait. Let us, there are some questions that came earlier.
Okay.
I'll go through them first and then come to you, okay? All right.
Okay.
Okay, great. So the second question from Tefo is, in order to complete this task, should we use mapping or any other solution will be fine as long as the task is completed?
Donc, la question de Tefo, c'est de savoir si on est obligé d'utiliser le mapping, c'est-à-dire la cartographie, ou bien tout autre type de solution est accepté.
Yes, that's a great question. Any method is accepted except the one I just described. Okay, any method is accepted. And this is actually the beauty of this kind of robotics problem. 10 people can use 10 different methods. okay? 10 people can use 10 different methods, and all methods that work are good. Maybe some are better than others, but doesn't matter. If it's a valid method that solves the problem, it's good. So we're not saying you should use mapping. We're not saying you should not use mapping. If you want to use mapping, mapping is a good one. If you prefer a different way, please use any way that you want. If you're not sure about the way you're using, you can ask us. We can give you some feedback about that way. But we are not setting any limit or constraint on what way you can use, what method you can use. Please feel free to use any method.
Donc, sentez-vous libre d'utiliser toutes les méthodes que vous voulez, à part celle du hard coding qu'on a expliqué précédemment. Et si vous avez aussi des doutes sur le type de méthode à utiliser, nous pouvons essayer de vous donner quelques recommandations pour pouvoir arriver à votre solution.
All right, so therefore, if you have more questions, again, please ask here, or also if you want to follow up with me about any specific thing, you can just go and put the message in Discord right now so that we can follow up after this meeting.
Donc, Théo, si tu as d'autres questions par rapport à tes préoccupations maintenant, tu peux toujours les remettre sur le Discord pour qu'on puisse continuer à discuter sur ça après le meeting.
All right, wonderful. So the next question I will go through is from Evans. Evans' question is from for task 2, sorry. The question is, we realize that there are green tomatoes, then red ones, then those in between. Which ones are the ones to be detected? That's a good question. By just counting the tomatoes, does that mean we would have estimated crop yield? Yes, let me, okay, you can go ahead and translate that. Let me open this.
Donc, la question de Evan était de savoir quelles sont les tomates à détecter, celles qui sont vertes ou celles qui sont rouges. Ensuite, sa deuxième question était de savoir si juste en comptant les tomates, ça nous permet d'estimer en fait les semences de tomates.
All right, I'm just trying to pull up the place where we have that information so that you can see what we have on there. All right, yes, so make sure that I have the right thing so that I don't forget. Yeah, so the expectation here, Evans, is that you will provide a count of the number of red tomatoes as the robot moves between the rows. Okay, so we want primarily red tomatoes, but the tomatoes have different shades, right? We have, we try to do that intentionally. So tomatoes have different shades. There are some that are green. Yeah, so those are not yet ready for yield. And so there are some that are close in the middle, I agree, they're sort of yellowish, yellow close to orange, maybe more orange. So you can also capture that as well. So but primarily it's the ones that are non-green. Non-green tomatoes are what we want. So that's the red tomatoes, and including the ones that are almost ready. That's the ones that are orange. Okay, so I think here we said red only. Maybe I need to modify that to just be more clear. So that's the red, and the ones that red, red is a shade, there's a spectrum on the shade of red. but it's the red ones and the ones that are close to red.
Donc, pour répondre à ta question, normalement, tu dois être capable de détecter simplement les tomates rouges.
Okay, so does that answer your question? Let us know. And then your second question is by just counting the tomato, does that mean we have estimated the crop yield? Yes. So that is what it means. It means estimating the crop yield in this case is that you imagine this scenario, which is a very common scenario actually. You are a farmer. Normally you have to go through the farm every week after you plant, during the harvest season. You want to know how many crops will I be able to harvest this week, okay? Or what is the yield going to be this week? You know, so then you have to use your pen and paper and go and count as you are going through so that you can know how many to expect when you send your harvesters, you know? But instead of doing that, we say, why don't we use a robot? The robot can do it day and night. So we can send the robot with a camera. It will go and count all these things, and then give you that number. And then based on that, you will know, okay, in this row, there are 40 tomatoes to be ready to be picked. In this other row, there's only 5. In this other row, there's 2. Okay, then what you can do with that is afterwards, you can say, okay, I have my 5 harvesters. 4 of you go to these rows, 4 of you go to that rows, 3 of you go to that rows, and they will harvest. You know what to expect from each row because you have already counted. All right. So that is sort of the idea that we are trying to simulate in this problem. All right. So what we want you to do is to use some computer vision to be able to capture, to do your counting of the tomatoes that are red or close to red. And then report that number. We will capture that number, and we know what the actual value is so that we can compare based on that. All right.
Donc, pour répondre à la deuxième question, donc le fait de compter les tomates, c'est exactement ça. Ça te permettra d'estimer le nombre de semences. C'est-à-dire que si tu prends l'exemple que tu es le fermier et que tu dois aller sur le champ pour compter exactement quelles sont les tomates à récolter ou pas, ça faudra prendre du temps. Et en utilisant un robot, normalement, tu seras capable de faire tout ça, c'est-à-dire utiliser la vision ordinateur pour détecter spécifiquement quelles sont les tomates qui sont prêtes à être récoltées, et tu pourras bien évidemment envoyer tes employés pour aller dans des allées spécifiques pour faire les récoltes. Donc, voilà.
Okay. Jesslyn, do you want to go ahead and ask your question now? And then Hamidou will come to you next. But let's have Jesslyn, your question.
Yes. My question is regarding task 2. So, what I've noticed is that regarding the scoring, that's
okay. The scoring we have
is on the documentation. We have like a set of tomatoes, and there's a kind of formula which will determine our scoring. Now, yes.
Oh, Jesslyn, your line is we cannot hear. Oh, the line is bad. The line is bad. Hello, line is bad. Oh, we cannot hear.
We have 3 quantities of red tomato green, and
Jesslyn, can you hear me? Jesslyn, maybe if you can try to put the right.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we could not hear what you were saying for the last few seconds. I think your network
Oh, okay.
might be having some fluctuation.
Okay. Yes. You see on the actual number of red tomatoes, it said that there are 60. Now I would like to know in your formula, is it 60 or did you put the right figures regarding the worlds 1, 2, and 3? Because if it's 60, then it will make the calculation to be wrong.
Oh, wait, you mean this here?
Yes.
Are you asking whether this is a correct number?
Yes, I'm asking if that's the correct number or if it's just an example.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so this is just for instance, right? Just an example. This is just to show you how the calculation will happen. This is not the actual number. Okay. All right, so let me repeat the question. So Andrea, you can translate. So I think the question was about whether, I think there was some concern that whether this number here that we have, this number is in this evaluation, is actually is obtained from the Word file. Meaning that, does it mean that there's actually 60 tomatoes in the Word file? And the answer to that is no. No, there's no, this is just an example to show you how we do calculation. It does not have much to do with, it just is a random number, right? Randomly chosen just to show you how we calculate.
Donc, la question de Gislon, c'était par rapport à la task evaluation. Donc, il voulait savoir si les nombres de tomates étaient effectivement 60 et normalement non. C'est juste un exemple qui a été donné pour cette partie spécifiquement.
All right. Is that okay, Jocelyn?
Yes, it's fine for me. It's fine.
All right, wonderful. Wonderful. All right, Hamidou, please.
Yes.
So,
Mhm. Oui, je disais que les valeurs de odométrie sont plus rapides. Alors que le robot ne tourne pas assez, par exemple, si euh, euh, ça doit faire 5 secondes pour tourner le robot à 45 degrés, les valeurs de l'odométrie dépassent largement les mesures. Si possible, de donner une configuration pour que le robot tourne à des angles précis, quoi. J'ai aussi envoyé le message sur le chat. Ça, c'est tout.
so
Ma deuxième question aussi, c'est par rapport au deadline. Est-ce que vous allez à rallonger ou bien le deadline serait toujours l'actualité? Ça, c'est tout.
So the first question Amidou's asked is to know if the odometry values are faster when the robot is not turning fast enough. For example, if the robot is turning 45 degrees for 5 seconds, the odometry value will far outstrip the measurement. So if possible, give a configuration so that the robot turns at the precise angle. His second question is about the deadline. He would like to know if if you are going to extend the deadline for submission.
All right, thank you. Let me see now how, so the question about odometry, okay, this is an observation. I will check. All right, Hamidou, I will check this issue with the odometry that is not giving accurate reading, particularly when you are rotating. All right, I will check that, and maybe I can follow up on on Discord. Okay, so I will check that out to see what is the issue there, and then I will get back to you on Discord. Maybe there might be some need to do some configuration. That is possible. Okay, so I will do that and give you a feedback. All right. All right, Andrea, go ahead.
Donc, il a dit qu'il va essayer de vérifier ta solution et de te donner de faire un retour sur Discord. Donc, essaie de poser ta question encore sur la plateforme Discord. Comme ça, il pourra se rappeler normalement de te répondre.
Okay, the second question about extension on the deadline. Yes, we're still looking into that. I'll provide an update on that. But yes, likely we'll do an extension. We'll likely do an extension because usually we want to encourage people to be able to make progress and make a submission. So we will likely do an extension, but I will let us know through our normal communication channel. That is through, I'll make the announcement on Discord. Okay. Hopefully in the next few days, after we coordinate with the teams, we will we'll let you know. Okay. But yeah, we'll likely do an extension in any case. So you can expect to see an extension, but by how many days or how long, we will deliberate that and let you know.
Donc, par rapport au report de date pour l'envoi de vos solutions, il a dit qu'il y a une possibilité normalement que nous reportions la date pour vos solutions. Donc, voilà.
Okay, so thank you. There's another question here. That's from Mattel. Can you repeat that point on task 2 on specifics of which tomatoes should be red? Do we consider size, shape, color red for ready tomatoes, and or should only use color? Okay. All right, so that's the question. And Jerry, you can translate the question and then I will respond.
Donc, la question était de savoir s'il était possible de répéter les explications par rapport à la tâche 2 sur les tomates, le type de tomate qui doit être considéré. Parce que si on considère la taille, est-ce qu'on considère la taille, la forme, la couleur ou simplement les couleurs rouges pour les tomates prêtes, ou nous devons utiliser uniquement toutes les couleurs qu'il y a présentes.
All right. So let me use this example here. I can make this bigger. Yeah. All right. So so what we have here, you can see we have this. Okay, we have this. These are the what you can call red. This is not really red, but it's orange. But depending on the shade of your camera and lighting, all those things. And then you also have this that's a bit more light orange. Okay, so these are all tomatoes that you should capture. Like you can see here, we are capturing that. Then there are maybe, okay, this one maybe does not have any unripe ones or green one. Yeah, maybe this one here or small on this side. But so these are the things that you should count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should count. All right. I don't have a picture of a different one that has the green. But if some of them have green, meaning that it's almost identical to the leaf. So you should not be counting those, but you should be counting the ones that are orange and red. All right.
Donc, pour répondre à la question, vous ne devez pas en fait prendre en compte la forme des tomates, mais spécifiquement la couleur. Bon, sur l'image que nous avons, il n'y a peut-être pas de tomates vertes, mais normalement, vous devez juste considérer la couleur de la tomate. C'est-à-dire que si la tomate a une couleur presque identique à celle des feuilles, ben, vous ne la compterez pas lorsque vous ferez les estimations.
Okay, and then the other thing your question is asking is whether you should consider size or shape. Yes. You know, one thing about, again, similar to what I mentioned before, in the robotics, there are many ways to solve the same problem. We don't want to tell you do this way or do that way. No, that's not good. We want you to explore anything that you think is relevant. We want you to problem solve. Okay, we want you to problem solve. That means we want you to understand the problem. That's why I like your question. Your question is asking, okay, how do I understand the problem? Once you understand the problem, then think about the tools you have and what in my toolbox can I use to solve the problem? Okay, and anything is available for you except if you just you know, there's some things we said, okay, don't use the gazebo topics or things like that. But any other way to go, you can feel free. Is somebody talking there? I cannot hear.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, your audio is did you ask something?
Can you repeat your answer?
Okay. So the question I was responding to is whether you should use size or color or shape, and I'm saying you can use anything. Use anything. This is a problem you need to solve. Okay, so how we want you to think about it is, you know, solve the problem with any tools that you may have. Okay, they might be, if you want to use the shape plus color, or size plus color, or only shape, anything that you think would be a good way to solve the problem. You know, there are better ways to solve it, but any way that solves it is good. It's good for your learning. Okay, good for your learning.
Donc, il semblerait que ma précédente réponse n'était pas la bonne. Donc, vous devez considérer des solutions qui sont adaptées à vous. Vous pouvez utiliser la forme de la tomate comme la couleur. Tout dépendra de comment vous voulez principalement résoudre le problème, c'est-à-dire détecter les tomates.
All right, so there's another question they're asking about, we count just red color. So again, I will modify the instructions to say red and orange. Okay, because this is because we're dealing with real life, not real life, but simulated plants and crops. You know, it's a bit hard to know what the right color is and things like that. Okay, so for example, this is not red, but if you maybe from a different angle, might be more red. Okay, so we're saying that you should count all the non-green. Okay, so maybe I'll modify it to be non-green or red and orange, because depending on what you look at, it will look different color, you know. So let's say red and orange. Okay, does that answer your question, Diama? Red and orange tomatoes, that is the ones that are close, either ready to harvest or close to harvest. Count those ones. Okay, the ones that are not yet ready, I don't think I have an image there. There are some green ones. I can't zoom in here, but there are some green ones. So you don't see all of these ones are ready. They are red, close to, you know, red, orange color. Block those ones. Sorry, count those ones. Those are the ones that maybe you might need to go and harvest soon. Any ones that are green, we don't want you to get them, count them. Okay.
La question de Diamant, c'était de savoir si nous ne comptons que les couleurs rouges. Donc, la consigne de la tâche serait modifiée, c'est-à-dire que vous pourrez choisir, vous devrez principalement capturer les tomates rouges et les tomates oranges. Donc, si vous devez faire l'estimation, vous ne comptez que ce type de tomates-là et pas les vertes.
All right, so another question there is from Timmy. Can we use the TF topic for localization? Yes, yes, you can use, you can feel free to use the TF. You can use any information on TF to localize yourself. All right.
Donc, la question, c'était de savoir si c'est possible d'utiliser le topic TF pour la localisation. Et oui, vous
And there,
devez
your
utiliser.
voice is not coming through.
Can you hear me now?
Can you speak again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it is better now, yes.
OK. Donc, la question de Timmy, c'était de savoir si il est possible d'utiliser le topic TF pour la localisation. Donc, oui, vous pouvez utiliser le topic TF pour la localisation.
All right, great. So maybe a follow-up to that one would be the only topics that we don't want you to use are the simulator topics, so the gazebo topics. Okay, so the gazebo topics, we don't want you to use them. The reason is that on the physical robot in phase 2, you don't have access to gazebo topics that give you information about the robot in simulation, right? So we want you to develop code that will work on the physical robot. If you develop a method that relies on something in simulation that is not available on the physical robot, then that will not work. Okay, so that's the reason why we want you to not to use anything from the gazebo topics. But otherwise, anything else, any sensors on the robot, any of the transformation topics, any of those things are available on the robot normally, and you can have access to them.
Donc, le seul topic que vous ne devez pas utiliser, c'est celui de gazebo. Parce que normalement, lorsque vous allez passer à la phase numéro 2, il y a des possibilités et c'est certain que le type d'information que vous recevrez du topic de gazebo ne marchera certainement pas sur le robot physique. Donc, vous devez être capable de développer une méthode qui marche à la fois sur la simulation et sur le robot physique. Donc, n'utilisez pas le topic.
Okay, wonderful. Do people have other questions? Has anybody completed task 1 or task 2? You raise your hand if you have completed task 1 or task 2.
Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui ont complété la tâche numéro 1 et la tâche numéro 2? Donc, s'il y a des gens qui ont complété la tâche numéro 1 ou 2, veuillez lever vos mains.
Okay, so many people are still working on both task 1 and 2. All right, great. So hopefully these questions, my responses are helpful. If there are other things, maybe I could ask now here. If people have anything that they think that they need, any more information they need, if there's any more information you need or any more guidance you need, or any resources that you think might be helpful, please put in the chat and we can try and work on providing more resources, okay? Well, we need to know what those things are so we can support you. Okay, so if there's a method you're trying to use and you're not sure, or if you want to think about a new method or you don't know, please right now we are here. You can put in the chat or you can always use Discord to get my attention, ask a question. Either I respond to the question or other people that have experienced that issues before or have some ideas can also respond.
Donc, si vous avez encore des questions ou des difficultés par rapport à la progression sur la phase 1 et la phase 2, vous pouvez ouvrir votre micro ou envoyer votre question dans le chat maintenant ou plus tard dans le Discord et nous serons ravis de répondre à toutes vos questions. Donc, si vous avez aussi des difficultés sur le type de méthode à utiliser, on peut toujours vous recommander des méthodes. Et donc, vous pouvez ouvrir votre micro maintenant et expliquer clairement votre méthode et on pourra vous donner des réponses.
All right, so maybe while we are waiting, I want to share some very exciting information with everybody. Okay, if some of you might know this, might know about IROS, it is one of the biggest robotics conferences in the world. Okay, so it is the full name is International Conference on Intelligent Robots and Systems. All right.
Donc, il a une nouvelle à vous annoncer par rapport à la conférence internationale des systèmes intelligents robotiques. Et voilà.
Okay, and the reason I'm showing you this is it's going to happen in Abu Dhabi this year, 2024. And the reason I'm showing you this is that we are organizing a collaboration with this conference for us to have a forum for robotics in Africa at this conference. So this is a big international conference. We're going to have a Robotics in Africa forum at this conference.
Donc, ils sont en train ils auront un partenariat, je pense, avec cette conférence à Abu Dhabi cette année. Et c'est l'une des plus grandes conférences de robotique au monde.
All right, and what's more interesting is, let me put this in the chat so if people want to take a look, they can see. Let me also come up with the, let's see. Yes. All right, so this is the workshop, Robotics in African Forum at IROS 2024. Okay. And we are going to be, let me show you the program. In the program, we're going to invite the finalists, the top 3 finalists of PARC to come to Abu Dhabi and present their final solutions to the world. This is an opportunity to showcase Africa robotics globally, and they're very interested in having PARC participants who get to the final stage and who, the first, second, and third, and maybe other teams also who are in the final to present their work at the global stage. This is very, very exciting. Okay, so I'm very excited about this opportunity for us to showcase all the wonderful work that you guys are doing. This is the first time I'm sharing this. This has been under the development for many months, but now I've gotten the green light from the organizers of the conference. Travel and accommodation support will be provided for all the people that are invited. So I just want to encourage you, that besides coming to Senegal in July for the final event, the teams that win or do place highly will be invited to come to Abu Dhabi in October for this International Robotics Conference. All right, so this is really exciting. I will share more information about this later on officially. But since I had we have this Q&A, I thought to just share this idea. If you're interested about this, I can share more information later, or you can ask on Discord. But just to give you an idea, the summary is that we have this partnership with this international conference, and they are very excited to connect with robotics in Africa and with PARC. And so the finalists of PARC this year will be invited to Abu Dhabi to present their work to a global audience of robotics engineers and researchers and get good feedback. A great place to network, great place to get potential scholarships to go and study for your master's or PhD if that's what you want to do. So it's a great opportunity that I am very excited that we're able to put together for you.
Donc, pour cette conférence, PARC aura du temps pour faire un forum sur la robotique en Afrique. Et ils ont travaillé sur ce partenariat-là, cette connexion-là pendant des mois, ce qui fait en sorte que les trois finalistes de cette compétition 2024 auront l'opportunité de voyager, d'aller à Abu Dhabi pour aller présenter leurs solutions durant la conférence, et toutes les accommodations, l'hébergement sera pris en compte par la compétition. Donc, c'est une opportunité pour vous pour avoir des connexions, pour ceux qui sont encore en master ou en PhD, d'avoir des bourses. Et voilà, donc ça sera parmi les trois finalistes de la compétition, et plus certainement dépendamment de ce que PARC pourra avoir comme passe. Merci.
Excellent, thank you, Andrea. All right, so okay, looks like there's another question. Wait, let me put this in the chat in case people are interested. Put this in the chat. People are interested. All right. There's a question by Tifo. Okay. That's interesting. It says, so Tifo, is it here that you're talking about? Here in the wait, okay, maybe I don't get the question. I get an error which says the executable is not found, but when I replace this command this way, there is no error. So on task 1 guidelines, we are instructed to do the solution like this. Yes. Okay. I see. Oh, this is interesting. I need to look into this. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe this might not work actually. Because of how we've set this up here. Okay, I will check this. Maybe I need to modify the code, the documentation here. Can you put that on Discord so I can get back to you and let you know if I have updated the documentation instruction? I will also post it there so you can see the update. Okay, I need to test to see where the error might be coming from, whether it's in the code or whether it's in the description here. Okay, so let me summarize the question and the response so that Andrea can reply. I think the question is around partly that in this code that is in this getting started, the instruction is to run this command, but that command seems to not work. The command, when it changes something here, puts move robot, it works, and then is asking, could that be an issue in how we are asking for final, okay, wait, how we're asking for final submission. I think we're asking for final submission like this. which one to use here. Okay, so that's the question. My answer is just that, okay, I will check to see if there's an error on the documentation. There might be an error in the documentation on that issue. And once I fix that, I will let you know on Discord so that everyone can also get the update. Okay.
Donc, la question de Tefo, c'était de savoir, il a exposé en fait un problème, c'est-à-dire que lorsque vous rentrez dans la partie Getting Started with ROS, il a remarqué que le ROS to Run Test Publisher, lorsqu'il exécutait en fait la commande, il obtenait une erreur. Donc, il n'arrivait pas à trouver, à exécuter la commande. Donc, il a remplacé avec une autre commande. Vous pouvez avoir accès à sa question dans le chat pour pouvoir mieux comprendre le type de commande. Donc, Kenny a dit qu'il va vérifier cela et vous aurez plus d'informations sur le type de commande à utiliser plus tard. Il va le poster sur Discord. Donc, c'est une erreur et il va la modifier.
All right, wonderful. So maybe it's good that we will we'll keep this one a bit shorter than usual. So thank you all very much. I'm excited. People are making good progress. I know there were 2 people who had filled out the survey saying that they had issue with setting up their PC. We didn't really see those questions come up today, but please make sure that you ask us questions. We try as much as we can to respond to your questions so we can support you. All right. So Discord is the best place. Let's go on Discord. You can ask the questions there. We can discuss more. People can respond, including myself. I will provide updates about the extension of phase 1. All right. I'll provide updates very soon, probably by early next week. Okay. So yeah. Thank you all very much. Okay, Andrea, you can translate and then I will do a final wrap-up.
Donc, si vous avez d'autres questions, vous pouvez toujours aller sur le Discord. C'est le meilleur endroit pour avoir vos réponses, les réponses à vos questions. Et en ce qui concerne l'extension du temps pour la soumission de vos solutions, on pourra aussi en discuter sur Discord et vous aurez des updates par rapport à cela. Merci beaucoup.
All right, thank you everyone. Let me stop recording. Recording stop.